The Dangote refinery plans to start producing crude oil in the first quarter of next year, despite feedstock issues. In response to a previous claim by S&P Global Commodity Insights, a top executive of the $20 billion refinery confirmed this on Saturday. Now, the official stressed that the facility will continue to work towards achieving this and mentioned that development would further ensure crude oil supply to the facility. To discuss these headlines more in detail with me, we had now joined by Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu. Mr. Chika, good morning to you.
How are you today?
Very well, thanks. And yourself?
Well, no problem.
Great. All right, so what can we make of this? What key milestones are we looking for?
I mean, the major issue, is what's the use of a refinery without crude oil?
Sure.
650,000 barrels a day, Gosling refinery, has to be fed with crude oil. So where would the crude oil come from? Yeah. You would have noticed that to meet the demand for crude, so far since they resumed, the refinery has, traversed the whole world looking for crude. And they have bought crude from literally everybody just to make sure that production kicks off. And it's the dependency of the NNPC government arrangement to make sure that the crude is supplied to the refinery. And that's that. So you will find that, as I said, what's the use of this 650,000 barrels a day crude refinery if it does not have crude? And that's basically the foundation on which the Dangote group decided to help themselves, in quote. And so this is OML 7071, which, based on report we have, they say it has about 300 million barrels still oil not brought up from the ground, and of course massive gas reserves. At the time it was worked by Shell. At the time they said that it went up to about 21,000 barrels a day. So the production from these wells will help in meeting the needs of the refinery. Even if it's 5 barrels of crude that you get from outside on your own sources, that will contribute to the 650. It's something less. It's 650 less than 5,000. So that's massive for them. Serious backward integration for them, and I'm hoping that they will ramp up the production according to their program. From 2025 first quarter, that's when the first crude will come up from there, and then subsequently the production will be ramped up to meet the needs. I have a feeling that if these two work out well for them, they will foray more into the upstream sector and look for more wells to gobble up. Incidentally, they're not the operators, which helps. Basically the operators are those who run the wells day to day. So, but they have interest in those, so they don't get distracted from doing their refinery job. But that guarantees them the ownership in those wells, guarantees them a source of crude for the refinery. So it's laudable and a very good backward integration initiative. And knowing Dangote Group with the efficacy, with the way they chase projects completion, we believe that by first quarter of 2025, the ambition will be achieved. And then thereafter, the productions will increase.
This is certainly a win for the refinery. Like you mentioned, upstream is what I was going to ask you about, which you've just mentioned. It would be great to see that. I think it's something that would just boost a lot more of what we see currently. But talking about boost, let's get your outlook on what more the government can do.
The issue is very simple to tie in our inadequacy,
sure,
inability to meet our upper quota, at last count, about 1.5 million barrels a day, to the issue of theft of crude. Those are, of course, can account for that, but the issue has been historically, Nigeria has lagged behind in investments or reinvestments in the oil and upstream sector. And because of the way we have done things, it took a long time for the Petroleum Industry Act to be passed. And why it was being being waited for, a lot of investors who would have come into our sector moved into other countries, Angola, Gabon, and so on and so forth in Africa. and that was lost out. So the lack of investment in that sector for a long time is what we're substantially suffering for. And then secondly, even the little that we produce from the little investment we have is being stolen. You know, we just saw a report over the weekend again that there was some people who are supposed to civil defense people who are supposed to protect some pipes, or the people who help people poke hole in the pipes and stealing the crude from the regular pipes. So you find that theft is real, but the major issue has been the fact that there has been lack of investment in that sector. And then we are crude oil hungry in the country. So I think also that things on the table of the NUPRC, like the Renaissance Shell transaction, they should look at them and then find ways of approving them, quickly. The Seplat Mobil transaction, they should look at them and find a ways of, because these things have locked in several thousand barrels a day in oil production in Nigeria. So those are basically the fundamental issues we have.
Right, but when we talk about theft and, vandalism, pipeline vandalism, we've been having these conversations for quite a number of years. Do you believe, apart from investment, that enough effort is actually being pumped into this issue? Yeah. I know there's only so much that can be done when you're dealing with unseen forces, but let's talk about efforts here.
It's not just issue of unseen forces, but the issue is like when they were doing the Senate hearing, for example, one of the senators said that the security officials, when they put a new security official around those pipes, within 1 month, they buy jeeps. Yeah. So the money is, as I say in this program, the money is sweet. So the money is sweet. Maybe even you as a security official, they're owing you months arrears of your salary. Your salary is paltry. They don't pay you on time. And people are saying, come, let's partner in this thing. And that's why you see a lot of people who are supposed to be protecting the pipes are compromised. So because the money is sweet. And those are major issues that we'll see. You see a pipe running, unfortunately, the pipes run into thousands of kilometers. And where will it guide? I keep saying that you cannot attack any pipe. I can't come from my place in Olo to go to a place in Niger Delta and create a hole in a pipe. It must be people who are in that neighborhood that know how the holes are created. And so it's important also. So the issue of community involvement based on new PIA is also helpful. For example, people like Wando now, natives who have taken over the wells abandoned by the IOCs, now who know better how to handle the Nigerians, those communities, and get them involved in the project. And so that things like this will, theft, breaking of pipes will reduce.
All right, more collective effort there. Well, thank you so much, Rice Business Analyst Chika Mbonu, for joining us this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow.